Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. This is just basically various topics dated June. It's June 3rd, 2020, year of prophecy. And it's kind of feel a little drizzle coming down, so go as long as I can. And then Lord's will, the rain will hold up, can finish the lesson. If not, I may have to go and go to the truck and finish it, but we'll see how the spirit goes. I was watching a few videos earlier. One of the videos I watched was the elders from Connecticut, Elder Tazadak and Elder Ayathun. They did a video called "Things Are Not What They Seem," or something along those lines. And pretty much what they were showing in that video was this Jake woman was out there filming these looters, and pretty much the looters were a bunch of Edomites with masks and dressed in black, breaking windows, taking stuff out of the stores. And like she said, she said they're gonna blame that on Jake. I mean, she said they're gonna blame it on black people, but that so-called black people are from the tribe of Judah for the most part. And she was telling them that they're gonna blame it on Jake pretty much. That Esau's doing a lot of that. A lot of that is controlled opposition. They're doing a lot of mischief, a lot of looting, burning, breaking windows, and taking stuff, rioting. And they're blaming it on Jake, that Jake is the only ones that's really doing it. When that one police officer that was breaking the windows out of that AutoZone, they have a term called broken window effect or something like that, to where if you break a window in a business or something along those lines, it sets things off and sets other people in motion, and with the frame of mind of destroying property, and this is what Esau is doing, because at the end of the day, they opened everything up, or started opening things up because of the coronavirus, which you don't hear much about that much. These riots, the police conveniently so-called murdered that dude George Floyd, which he's that's another video I was watching too. Hassan Campbell, he was filming out there in the Bronx on Fordham, pretty much saying, look, this is our neighborhood, look what they did to our neighborhood, pretty much going and showing the neighborhood how it's all tore up, and like I said, they had opened everything up for a brief moment, and then all of a sudden, you had this police killing, so-called police killing, and riots broke out across America. First, it started in Minneapolis, and it pretty much is in every city pretty much throughout the U.S. where around where Jake lives at. And this is all part of that sedition, as the scriptures speak about sedition among men. Well, that's what's happening. Now there's certain sources that are saying that this whole thing is being set up so that they can blame the next wave of coronavirus on this looting and shit that's going on, because people are not practicing social distancing, they're not wearing protective gear, so on and so forth. There was this Jake, I was watching the video somebody sent me of this Jake in the prison. They're saying that they're killing them Jakes in there because they're not giving them anything to disinfect their cells with, and they're bringing a whole bunch of people up in there now, so they're pretty much hoping that some of these people may be sick and get the prisoners sick and get other people sick, so that they can justify bringing in that vaccine, which they plan on rolling out sometime in October or so, maybe October, November. So the stage is set, as a lesson that we did called "The Stage is Set." Everything is in place, they're just ramping things up so that the citizens can start calling for the police and martial law and for some type of solution to end this madness, this havoc. And that's going to pretty much strip people of their limited rights as they have them, you know, as they are right now. Because as we speak, the so-called rights of the average American and pretty much the citizens of the world are being stripped day by day, and they don't have the same rights that they had a while ago, you know. But now it's going to get even worse because this when Esau implements his martial law and these police forces, is going to cause a total shutdown, a total lockdown. So the first wave was just to test, see how, if people would actually do it. This one, more than likely, is going to be a forced lockdown. Like right now, they have curfews in certain cities. You know, you have a curfew in New York that was 11 p.m. curfew. Now it's 8 p.m. All the way up until Monday at 5 a.m. Something along those lines. So we're gonna, you know, we're pretty much seeing what's really going on. You know. So just gonna start off here in 2 Ezra 15, and like I said, just go as long as the Spirit allows. I don't really have anything pre-planned. No, I didn't write any scriptures as the scriptures come. And if I happen to gaze at the comment board, if there's any scriptures that brothers pop up that go along with the subject, you know, I'll see if I could read them off or grab them myself and read them. So let's get started. This is 2 Ezra 15, and we're in the time right now where the prophecies are speaking loud and clear. They've been speaking, but now they're really speaking. But like Elder Apostle did in the video that he just did, I don't know the name of it. So many videos the Apostle does. That there was a point that came to mind. Oh, that this really ain't nothing. This ain't really the time of Jacob's trouble. We're at the very beginning of it, but it's going to get far worse than that. So, nevertheless, let's go to 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. And when you read these scriptures, these precepts, you got to picture what it's saying. Because it didn't say woe to a city or woe to a town. It said woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Because this is going to be something that's going to be pushed throughout the whole planet. It's not just going to be in one country or in one city or in one town. It's going to encompass the whole earth, you know, and you have to realize that. And this is why you see things popping off all over the world in the oikoumenic sense. All over the world, it's happening. It's being pushed. Legislation is going forth. Riots are breaking out. Famines and different things are happening around the world because these are the prophecies of the Lord speaking loud and clear. So I'm going to go to Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. And it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which the final hour of temptation will be that microchip. But everything we see is all leading up to it. And this is the reason why they're doing all of this, you know, all of this stuff, you know, with the coronavirus and the riots and all that and the lockdowns, because it's all about, you know, getting rid of the cash and bringing in a digital society. You know, the stage is set. Everything is all the infrastructure is in place. The 5G towers are already up all over the world. You know, and all they have to do now is they could just pass a law to where you can't use cash anymore, or they may not pass a law. And they may just have businesses say that, look, we don't accept cash anymore, you know? So it says, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this is something that's going to be worldwide. It's not just something that's going to be in your neighborhood or your neck of the woods. It's going to be a worldwide event that's going to be taking place. And we see it playing out plainly as the scriptures said. You know, and are saying, you know, like we keep saying, you're witnessing the words of this book leaping out. The words leaping off of the pages. and actually taking hold of the earth. So let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, because there is going to be major tribulation that only the elect of the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, will be delivered from. And that's it. This is going to be the most chaotic time ever in the history of the world, from the beginning of time all the way up until now. And the scriptures tell us that. Let's go to Daniel 12 and 1 real quick. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of what? Trouble, such as was never since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. We just spoke about that. The elect, the elect, the elect, the elect. And we're going to keep saying that, no matter how people feel about it. If they don't like it, tough, because the elect will be delivered out of this, but the 2/3 of the nation of Israel will not get deliverance from this. You got to remember, this is a judgment that's coming from the Most High. Forget about Esau and the other nations. Whoever's on the swords of America or wherever they are in the world that are slated for judgment, they're going to get that judgment. So now, let's go from there back to 2nd Ezra 15 and 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. So this is going to be brought on by the sword. This is going to be brought on by disease warfare or biological warfare, famines that are being manipulated. The food supply is breaking down. Everything is pretty much, the society is collapsing. And you're witnessing the society collapse, right in front of you. Everything, going to pot, as they say. So it says, and one people shall stand up to fight against another. You're going to have your race wars, your class wars, different sects of people coming against each other, fighting against each other, destroying each other. Some to protect themselves and some to take other people's goods because they have a lack of goods. So it's gonna get really bad out here, man. That camaraderie, that friendly neighborhood, how you doing, Jan or Jack or Jill or whatever the hell your name is, that's gonna go out the door. The scripture says, because the iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So it says, and swords in their hands, because they're gonna have guns, knives, machetes, just different, weapons that they're gonna be using to destroy each other. Like I said, in some instances they'll be defending themselves, and in other instances you got some real weird motherfuckers in this world, boy. And in some instances they're gonna be defending themselves, and in some instances they're gonna be on the attack. So like I was just thinking out loud. I let out that curse bomb out, Salakia. It says, for there shall be sedition among men. And this is where we're coming to, sedition among men. And you can see how that's playing out and how it's going to play out. Because one thing that people do not like to do is they do not like to go hungry. And when they go hungry, guess what? Somebody is going to, try to take what somebody else has. It's called, like they call it the rule of the jungle, only the strong survive. So it says sedition is an illegal action inciting resistance to lawful authority and tending to cause disruption or overthrow of the government. So that's what we're seeing right now. This rioting and looting, this is a part of that sedition. These are things that have been written, long ago, that certain things have taken place in these different empires, but we're coming to the time of the worst time, which is right now, which we're approaching into. Let's go from there to the book of Ephesians. Go to the book of Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. So we're approaching these evil times, these evil days that the Lord spoke about, you know, in the past. And this is exactly what we're witnessing happening throughout all the earth. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. So we're approaching those perilous times. We're not there yet. You know, we're at the I guess you could say the heels of it, but you really ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till people really start feeling that crunch, you know. And now that all these businesses are destroyed in Jake's neighborhoods, like Hassan Campbell was saying, where they gonna go to get food for their children? You know, where they gonna go eat? Where they gonna go shopping and all of that? It's now that the neighborhoods are destroyed. He said he even asked some Jakes out there. He said, "Yo, you think they're gonna let us go up into so-called white people's neighborhoods and shop?" You know, the way that the media is portraying Jake to be, even though it's a lot of Edomites that's destroying these businesses and starting these lootings and riots, but the media is painting it like it's all Jake doing it. So you think they're gonna let Jake enter into those different neighborhoods where Esau shops, you know, to get supplies? You see? So these are those perilous times that are coming. It says, redeem it back in Ephesians 5 and 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is, because this is the will of the Lord. These are his prophecies speaking loud and clear. This is his program. The scriptures say that the counsel of the Lord shall stand. And we're actually witnessing the counsel of the Lord standing and speaking, you know, throughout these streets, you know, just as it's prophesied in the Bible, which a lot of people still have a disdain for the scriptures, but yet that devil Trump was holding the Bible up. You know, that's the video the Elder Apostle Tar did. This book condemns you. That's what the video I was watching. And I put a comment in there that I said, you know, when I looked at that picture, like the spirit that was on me was like, he's putting that picture up and he's in front of that church to remind Jake about plantation Christianity. You know, that was just a thought that came in my mind. I mean, I'm not saying that's why he did it, but that's the thought that came into my mind. Because at the end of the day, Esau wants control over everything, you know, whether it's religion, finance, you know, or medical, whatever the case is, they want control over everything. And this is why, you know, they want to roll out the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, so that they can track everything and everybody, because they want to be like the Most High. I was watching this video earlier of how they're saying that it's a bad thing for you know, they have the first implanted human with a chip in his brain, on their brain. And he said, and the individual that was speaking said, this is a bad idea. He said, because there's certain neurons in each human that can do the same thing that all of this artificial intelligence technology is going to do. It just has to be tapped in the right way, you know, but not evasively like they're going to do. So everything is there. Everything is pointing to the mark of the beast being the microchip. But yet you have these leaders out there that refuse to speak on it, that keep calling, you know, people that believe in that fools and quacks and bugged out individuals. So, but what they're doing is they're putting their congregation to sleep. And their congregation, if they don't wake up, they're going to end up taking that microchip, because according to their leaders, they're going to feel like it's not the mark of the beast, because they said it's not the mark of the beast, because a lot of those so-called leaders are paid off. You know, they're financed, you know, from different organizations to put that division there, you know. Here it is, we're telling you the right way that the mark of the beast is the microchip, and they're turning around and pretty much say, no, it's not. So putting the people that are hearing it asleep, because these people are asking questions because they're watching Great Millstone videos too. And they're going back and questioning their leaders. And so their leaders have to make some bullshit up to try to combat what we're teaching according to the Bible, that the mark of the beast is the microchip, which it is. And all that technology, the brain chips, you know, the neural lace, you know, all of the technology and infrastructure of that whole system, which you see rolling out right now, that they're trying to make, and then they're not trying, they're doing it. They're making this a cashless society. You know, why you think they're pushing that? Because eventually they want to connect every human being on the planet to a computer via that microchip, whether it's in the hand or any part of any other part of the body or the brain. It's all out there, man. Everything is out there. It's in plain sight. So either you're ignorant, willingly ignorant, or the Lord just hasn't opened up your mind. Either way, you know, those that take that mark of the beast will be destroyed, and those that don't take it, you know, if you're an Israelite and you're of the elect, you will be delivered. So going back, it says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They're going to be invading one another, invading someone's space. You see? So people are going to start doing things that they wouldn't normally do out of desperation. Let's look up that word desperation and see what that says. The word, let's look up the word desperate. Desperate. A person who is frightened and in need of help. See? It says arising from or marked by despair or loss of hope. You know, so pretty much these people are going to be at a loss of hope, because they're, especially here in America, they're so used to being handed everything. They're so used to being the convenience of everything, being able to walk out their house, in some cases walk across the street to different restaurants or different places of shopping, you know, for food or different things. And it's going to go from convenient to inconvenient. And when it becomes inconvenient and they have no way to feed themselves, they're going to go into that desperate mind state, which Gerald Celente quotes a quote. He says, when people have nothing to lose, they lose it. And that is a true and profound statement. You know, when you have nothing else, no hope for anything, you end up losing it. Because remember, these people here in America have been put in such a comfort zone. That's what the Lord speaks about, them living so deliciously. The rich man that's fared sumptuously, you know, living carelessly. They have a want for nothing. But now they're starting to feel the crunch. But it's just the beginning of the crunch. They're thinking it's going to go back to normal. This is going to pass just like everything else passed. But no, it's going to get worse and worse. You know, and that's going to usher in that mind, that desperate mind state that's going to cause a sedition among men. That's going to cause them to invade one another. That's going to cause them to break into their neighbor's home, kill their neighbors, and take whatever they have from them so that they can be sustained of life, survive. It's called survival, survival of the fittest. You know? So this is what we're witnessing happening, you know. So we're, like I said, like Apostle Tar said, we're at the beginning stages of it, but you ain't seen nothing yet. It's going to get so bad out here that, like the scriptures speak about in this, I believe it's in the same chapter or in the 16th chapter, that you're not going to be able to walk through the cities. So let's read on. It says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes. And we're seeing that right now. They're not regarding the governors, the leaders, the president. You know, they're saying curfew or this or that or social distance or whatever, and people are not listening because they see that this is all bullshit, but they're still falling for the same tricks because they're destroying their own neighborhoods, the places where they got to shop at, you know. And like Hassan Campbell said, where are you gonna go? You ain't gonna be able to go to the so-called white people or the Edomites neighborhoods to shop. Because remember, the media is a very a powerful tool that the international bankers are using. And what they're showing is they're only showing Jake out there rioting and looting. But who's starting all that shit in most of these different cities, these urban cities? Esau is. These paid agents that are going from, that are being shipped from town to town, from city to city, to do this rioting, to do this looting, to get shit started, and then move on to the next. There was a Twilight Zone episode like that. I think Monsters of Due on Maple Street, I think it's called, where they were up on a hill and they created a situation within the town and had the people fighting against each other to kill each other. Almost to going to kill each other and destroying each other, you know. And they said we're gonna go there, and at the end they said that we're gonna go from town to town, from city to city, and do the same exact thing. And this is what we're witnessing, that order ad chaos, the order out of chaos. It's real. And all of this is being done for one goal and one purpose, to bring about and establish this new world order by any means necessary. You know? And that's why they're doing it. So moving on, it says, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, because it's going to be lawlessness, a term called anarchy, which is no rule or no law. And you pretty much are witnessing some of that now with this rioting and looting going on. But that ain't nothing. Shit is going to get worse. You know? People are still able to still eat. They still have a little freedom. But the crunch is going to get worse and worse. And they're going to start feeling it, man. It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Why? Because of all of the rioting, looting, and the stuff that's going to be going on. That desperate mind state kicking in. People are in desperation walking around looking for people, you know, to victimize or to use to help them in their situation. The movie The Road shows you that. You had bands of people riding around in trucks looking for other people to take their goods and what? And to kill them and eat them. For the lack of hunger, for the lack of bread, for the lack of food. Matter of fact, let's jump down and then I'll come back up. This is the 57th verse. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy cities shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. Because even the ones that escape the major cities and go into certain locations, people are going to still find you. After they finish looting the city, what do you think they're going out? They're going after that. They're going to go into these different remote areas that people have stashed away, these so-called preppers. You know, and you know what's hilarious is that here it is, you have these preppers that have these private locations, but yet they're telling people, they're doing videos on it. Yeah, this is my location. This is what I have. This is what we have here. You know, we have ammunition and we have guns and weapons, and we have over here, we have food and this, that, and the other. You know, it could be sustained for 6 months to a year or blah, blah, blah. People are not very smart in America. Here it is, you're supposed to be doing something secretly to protect yourself and to have something to fall back on, but you're showing the whole world what you got. How bright is that? But then they say that Jake is stupid. I beg to differ in certain cases. It says, they that be in the mountains shall die of hunger. See? You're going to have those mountain retreats. You're going to die of hunger and eat their own flesh and drink their own blood. That's cannibalism. For very hunger of bread and thirst of water. So these things are going to be, it's going to get real out here. It's definitely going to get real out here. So going back to 2 Ezra 15 and 17, it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. And we're kind of witnessing some of this, but this is just the beginning stages. This ain't nothing compared to what's going to go down. The houses shall be destroyed, And pretty soon they're gonna go from pretty soon if this situation doesn't quell, they're gonna go from businesses to houses. You know, it says, and men shall be afraid. You're gonna have people afraid because lawlessness is gonna rule. You're not gonna be able to call 911 because 911 is gonna be calling 911. I was watching a video by Luke Radowski, We Are Change, where he was documenting video footage of New York, and he was saying that there was one particular block where the looters were on, and you had the police there, and the looters were on the same block, rioting and looting and destroying businesses right on the same block as the cops, and the cops didn't do anything because they were given a stand down order. And people don't realize that when the cops are given a stand down order, that means that they want this to go down. They want, you're still in the same trick bag, you know, destroying these businesses, the same businesses that you need to go to buy stuff for yourself. And what that's going to cause is these businesses already are doing bad because of the so-called COVID-19 shutdown. So a lot of these businesses are going to go out of business. They're destroying property or cars that are used to deliver handicapped people, disabled people. They just went up in there and just destroyed that place. You know, they were showing all kind of stuff, man. All kind of shit is going on. You know, but this is all planned. This is all that chaos so that they can bring in the order. Hegelian dialectics, pressure from above, pressure from below, and the solution in the middle robs the people of their rights and gives more power to the government, which is controlled by the international bankers, or what they call the secret government or deep state or whatever you want to call it. That's what it's all about, total control of the world. Not just a continent, not just a city, not just a town, but of the whole world. So it says, verse 20, behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me. And this is going to go into your Armageddon, World War III, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another and repay the things that they have done to them. Because the Lord is going to pay back these nations for what they've done to his people. Like as they do yet this day unto my chosen, see? So will I do also, and recompense in their bosom, thus saith the Lord power. My right hand shall not spare sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. So all that you're seeing right now is the Lord's judgment coming upon the earth, to destroy them that have abused his people. And that's what we're witnessing right now. And I'm gonna probably just do a few more minutes and then pretty much close it out, unless the Spirit has me go longer. But let's keep rolling. It says the fire is gone forth. Matter of fact, let me read that 22nd verse again. My right hand shall not spare the sinners, and my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth. The fire is gone forth from his wrath, and hath consumed the foundations of the earth, and the sinners like the straw that is kindled. Woe to them that sin and keep not my commandments, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And what we're seeing are the judgments of the Lord. So you have these wacky-tacky Christians that say that the laws are done away with. So if the laws are done away with, how can the Most High judge the earth? If his laws are done away, why would he judge the earth if the laws are just done away with and everybody just has grace? Why is he bringing the judgment upon the earth? Why are all these things happening? Because this is the Most High meting out judgment for the blatant disregard for his laws, statutes, and commandments, which everyone claims out there that they believe. Like Trump had the damn thing in it, not the damn thing, Salakia, the blessed book he had in his hand, the Bible. So the Lord is bringing this judgment. He's causing these things to happen. He's stirring these spirits up. He's stirring everything up that you see going on. Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? because it's the Most High that's doing these things. He's the one that's pushing what you see going on in this stuff to forward his prophecies and to bring in his agenda, which is going to be his new world order, run by his son Yahushua and the rest of the Israelites. It says, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary. And you Israelites out there, you make up the temple of the Lord. But a lot of you are defiled. The scriptures say that the Most High's name is continually blasphemed among these nations through you. It says, for the Lord knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. That's why 2/3 of you are numbered to that sword. 2/3 of you are destined for that destruction. You know, you have a blatant disregard for the Lord's prophecies, his words, his laws, statutes, commandments. So he has something for you. Let's go to Isaiah 65:11. But ye are they that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, and prepare a table for that troop. And you're the ones preparing that table for that troop. You know, you got these well-to-do jakes that get up in, you know, in prominent positions, and they help push forward the agenda of Esau. They're not helping, you know, to bring forth the agenda of the Most High. They don't know the agenda of the Most High. They're pushing for Esau to stay in power. And a lot of these different ideas that you see to help the government out and this, that, and the third, a lot of these questions and scriptures that come up to combat the truth of what we're teaching, a lot of that comes from other Israelites, other jakes out there that give Esau these solutions or try to debunk this truth. A lot of that stuff is not Esau coming up with those words. Those are other jakes that are coming up with those questions and scriptures that they think can debunk what we teach. A lot of those ideas of how to keep government rolling and different, to keep the infrastructure going and all that, a lot of those ideas come from Jake. So you Israelites out there, you Jakes out there, you helping this devil try to stay afloat. But he's not going to stay afloat because his days are determined. So the Lord said he's going to number you to the sword because you're preparing a table for that truth. You're helping this man to stay in power. And the Lord is going to destroy you. But it doesn't matter if you help him or not. Though hand joined in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished. They're not going to get an extra second of time to rule. Because once the day is up, that's it. There's a particular day of a particular hour of a particular month of a particular year that this place is going to be totally demolished, destroyed, devastated, destroyed. I mean, just rocked to its axis. You know, brought out of existence. It says, and that furnished the drink offering unto that number. And you're the ones furnishing the drink offering unto that number. You're the ones that are causing a lot of these other Israelites out here, men and women, to drink this Babylonian juice and to keep this lie going. Some of you leaders fall under that too. Some of you leaders in Israel, you're pouring some stale, nasty, funky wine and giving it to Jake, you know, and causing them to err from the Lord. Those of you that teach that the mark of the beast is not the microchip and put your congregation's mind at ease, you're giving them that Babylonian juice to drink. Some of you Israelite groups out there that teach that all nations could be delivered and saved, you're giving them that Babylonian juice to drink. And you're going to have to pay for that too. You're not going to get away scot-free. Scripture say, every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account of it in the day of judgment. For by thy words I shall be condemned, and by thy words I shall be justified. In so many words. So you got the problem, and you will be dealt with. So reading on, it says, therefore will I number you to the sword. So you're going to be numbered to the sword. That's why there's something called the 2/3 in the scriptures. 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. You are that number that will be numbered to the sword. You are that number that will be numbered to the famine. You are that number that will be numbered to go into these concentration camps, you know, and to be tortured or whatever the hell they're going to do to you in there. Because a lot of you gave the Lord up 2,000 years ago. A lot of you spat at him. A lot of you were saying, crucify him, away with him. We have no king but Caesar. And this is going to be your judgment, your payback. This is the way the Most High is going to judge you before the kingdom. But then you'll come back later. And those same people that judged you and did those things to you, they're going to have to pay for it in the kingdom when they come back in slavery. It's going to be something. All right. Read a little more. It's starting to come down a little bit. It says, because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but you shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. And a lot of you are going to be ashamed for what you're doing. You know, pushing all that madness out there. You're going to be ashamed, man. You're going to find out that selling your soul to get a better life for you and your family is not going to be worth it. Because the kingdom that's coming is going to be far greater. Oh, yeah, you enjoyed pleasure for a moment, but in the long run, it's not going to be good for you. And a lot of you in the kingdom of heaven, you're going to have your head down for a while because you're going to be ashamed of what you did here. But eventually it's going to pass because the Most High is all merciful, you know, and he's going to, you're going to be all right in the kingdom. It says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So you're going to be screaming and howling for vexation of spirit. You know, because one thing that Jake doesn't like is to be uncomfortable. One thing that Jake doesn't like is to be in need or hungry, you know? And, you know, things were rough and tough in the ghettos, you know, throughout. But, you know, after a while, things kind of lightened up a little bit. But now the crunch, the real crunch is coming. And it's going to get really bad and nasty out here. And a lot of you Israelites are going to be caught up right in that insurrection that's coming, right in that destruction that's coming. You know, you're not going to be able to survive what's coming because you despise the words of the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Matter of fact, let's go there and let's see what we can get through before this rain starts coming down. Proverbs 1 and 20. Wisdom crieth about, she uttereth her voice in the streets. That's the prophets speaking. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, which is where all the businesses are. The businesses are conducted, debates, so on and so forth. In the opening of the gates, in the city, she uttereth her word, saying. So this is the Lord using his prophets, speaking out there to you, you know, and this is what's being said. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? So how long are you simple Israelites out there going to love this simplicity that you're in? When are you going to come back from that? And a lot of you are not. But this is just to paint the picture. Elder Pastor made a mention of you well-to-do Jakes going to college. He said he could destroy your whole thing with just one question. And I already knew what the question was. What's your nationality? Here it is, you done paid all this money to get all this education, but you don't know who the hell you are. And those of you that know who you are and are keeping your mouth shut because you're getting paid, the Lord's going to deal with you too. It says, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Because a man that hates knowledge is a fool. But a man that loves knowledge is a wise individual. You know? It says, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. And that's how we will get information. This truth to be sealed. But a lot of you ain't going to listen to it because you're destined to be destroyed. Isaiah the 6th chapter says that you were blinded by the Lord. not to receive this truth. This is why Yahushua spoke to certain people in parables, because they were not to get it. This thing is you know, it's vast, man. You know, it's very vast. Because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. So you are not regarding. So guess what? When it comes time for you to need help and call on the Lord, he's not going to regard your cries. But you have said at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof, because the prophets are out there. So you have no excuse. You can't say I didn't know. The scriptures say that if he had not come, they would have no cloak for their sins. In other words, they don't have an excuse. Because the prophets are out there, the YouTube is out there, the different social media sites that the word is going out on. There's no excuse. Everyone knows about the Israelites now. It says, I also will laugh. I'm sorry, but you have said at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And you're going to fear. You are so-called, you Israelites out there, you so-called black men, black women, so-called Latino men, Latino women, so-called Native American Indian, Native American men, women. You don't fear the Lord now, some of you, but you're gonna learn the fear of the Lord when this devil brings a hammer down on you, which is gonna be the Lord bringing the hammer down on you. It says, when your fear cometh upon you, Salakia, when your fear cometh as desolation and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated not. See, so you're not going to be able to find the Lord. That's what the scripture says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Because there will be a time when he will not be found. And in all this distress, you people that have forsaken the Lord, you're not going to be able to access that help. Because all you've done was scorn, mock, treat the men of the Lord like shit, talk shit about them, which in essence you're talking about against the Lord. So when that time comes, whatever you did, you're going to get. It says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way. See, just said that. And be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. So just because it seems like you're prospering for now, doesn't mean that you're going to be okay in the long run. It says, but whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. See, because evil is coming. Evil is bad time. And that bad time that's coming, the elect of the Lord will be protected from that. I mean, there's going to be certain things that touch the elect, as a proving ground. But for the most part, the elect are going to be okay. So it's going to get real out here, man. It's getting real, and it's going to get real. It's going to get more and more real. The closer we get to this, to Yahushua's coming, the worse it's going to get out here. So, I mean, with that, I think, the point is made. It's like just various topics, just a few things from these few videos I was watching, from Luke Vidalski of We Are Changed to Hassan Campbell to the elders, Elder Tazadakba, Elder Ayathun, the Elder Apostle Tar's video I watched, and others, and you just seeing the tip of the iceberg on what's happening. Wait till the Lord really start opening up, on this planet. Then you're gonna really be like, damn. Some of you are gonna be saying, damn, you wish you would have listened, and some of you are gonna be happy that the Lord gave you the ear and the mind and the spirit to hear and to accept, to believe, to have faith, and to do. All right. So with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. Stay strong, brothers. This is what we've been waiting for this. So all we have to do is just wait, be patient, and let the Lord do his work. And eventually he's going to come and deliver us. So with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.